we remain open and willing to sit with the opposition, civil society groups, academia, and any other significant sector grouping, because this fight requires an all-of-society approach.
The Minister of National Security is right. If we are to successfully combat crime in Jamaica, all hands must be on deck. Play your part by reporting criminal activities at work, church, school, anywhere in your community that crime is taking place. Thanks for joining us on another edition of Jamaica Magazine. News is on the flip side of this short break.
Yo, this is DJ Bambino, aka Trevor Offkey, and right now we have a message for all the youths of Jamaica. Remember, crime and violence is not the way to go. Education are the key. The car, the house, the money, the bling, all of that will come. Just remember, a gang is a dead end.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Good day, I'm Carrie-Ann Smith, and this is your GIS News for Monday, July 3. 400 farmers and their households are benefiting from an industrial well pump which was commissioned at the Plumwood Station in New Forest, Manchester recently. The $30 million project was part of a partnership between the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, Csjp, and the National Irrigation Commission Limited. Managing Director of Csjp, Omar Sweeney, says the pump will allow for proper planning and distribution of water to farmers, enhancing productivity in the fields. Similar sentiments were expressed by the Agriculture Minister in a statement read by his Permanent Secretary Donovan Stanbury.
Without water, we cannot hope to grow the agricultural sector in a meaningful and sustainable way, and the commissioning of this pump and irrigation system will ensure that farmers in the area have greater access to a consistent supply of water.
Pointing out that the South Manchester, South St. Elizabeth region was a traditionally dry area, Minister without Portfolio J.C. Hutchinson says the new facility will contribute to increasing the volume of production tenfold.
We have a pump here which has been providing roughly 50% of the water to the farmers in this area. With this pump that we have here now, this one will increase the volume to roughly 75%, so that the 400 farmers who are now getting assistance from the water system here, they will be able to get water on a more regular basis. And on top of that, we are able to provide additional farmers who want to come onto the system with water.
7 multi-use agro-processing incubators have been constructed across the island under the Jamaica Social Investment Fund's READY project. With funding from the World Bank, $208.15 million has been invested in these facilities to stimulate and sustain economic development for rural micro-entrepreneurs engaged in agro-processing.
So these multi-use agro-processing facilities will allow for individual groups to access a certified facility to manufacture a range of products such as juices, chips, sauces, jams, and jellies. The facility will also provide a space for caterers to prepare for events.
Mr. Sweeney was speaking at the recent handing over for the agro-processing incubator in St. Elizabeth. The others are located at RADA sites in St. Catherine, Trelawney, Hanover, Westmoreland, St. Mary, and St. James, and have been built to meet local and international manufacturing requirements.
And so the products that are manufactured here will be globally certified and ready for the export market.
Csjp, the ministry, and RADA have signed a memorandum of understanding to formalize agreed arrangements for the operations, management, maintenance, and marketing of the 7 facilities. A consultancy firm has been engaged to assist small agro-processors in product development, marketing, business advisory support, mentorship, and guidance. An estimated 400 micro-businesses will benefit from the use of the facilities and training in hazard analysis and critical control points HACCP and general food safety. Government has saved more than $100 million under its Energy Efficiency and Conservation Program EECP. Portfolio Minister Dr. Andrew Wheatley says the program has resulted in a significant reduction in the use of electricity in state entities, from 410 gigawatt-hours in 2011 to less than 400 gigawatt-hours in 2015.
For every dollar invested in energy efficiency, at least $3 are saved. This is important, especially in the context of Jamaica, an emerging economy seeking to create sustainable economic growth of 5% in 4 years.
Dr. Wheatley says even better results are expected under the program as more citizens become engaged through public education campaigns. He was addressing a recent energy efficiency and conservation awareness workshop. Government is putting measures in place to ensure a smooth transition from analog to digital television broadcasting in the next 4 years. While addressing last week's post-cabinet press briefing, Information Minister Senator Ruel Reid said it was necessary for Jamaica to make the switch.
Global standards for broadcast distribution have migrated or are migrating from analog transmission to digital and high-definition transmission.
Minister Reid says the National Digital Switchover Steering Committee, which he now chairs, is leading the charge to advance the switchover, which is targeted to take full effect in 2021. The work is examining issues such as technology standards, licensing framework, service proposition, business model and financing, frequency plan, and analog switchover plan.
These recommendations will be made to Cabinet from time to time on these matters, and in parallel, I will take to Cabinet existing recommendations to provide enabling provisions in the Broadcasting and Radio Rediffusion Act.
A contract is to be awarded to Carlong Publishers Caribbean Limited to supply textbooks to primary schools in the 2017-2018 academic year. The contract in the amount of $1.68 million was recently approved by Cabinet. The texts are for students in grades 1 to 3.
There was also an award of contract approved for the amount of $99,426,475 to Surrey Paving and Aggregate Company Limited for the construction of a fifth form block at the Mount St. Joseph Catholic High School in Manchester.
And that's it for GIS News Today. I'm Carrie-Ann Smith. Thanks for watching.
It's time to catch up on the latest news-making events coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Zones of Special Operations Bill unanimously approved by House of Representatives. Prime Minister calls for plastic bottle policy and hails the island's first female Prime Minister as she retires from representational politics. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says he will be taking a bipartisan approach to tackling crime with the addition of a member of the opposition as a permanent fixture on the National Security Council. This, he says, will be facilitated through the establishment of the National Security Council into law. Prime Minister Holness was speaking Wednesday as the House of Representatives debated and passed the Law Reform Zones of Special Operations, Special Security and Community Development Measures Act 2017, commonly known as the Special Crime Zones Bill.
The police, the military, and MOCA will have their operational duties. They do their operations, they plan it. The job of the government is to create the framework, the legal framework in which they can operate, hold them accountable afterwards.
As he argued for a sustained and strategic intervention to curtail crime, the Prime Minister reiterated that the bill will not replicate the state of emergency procedure. He also said the new crime bill will broaden the scope of national security.
The bill says that you have to select areas where it is evident that there is a crime problem. It is not just left up to the Prime Minister's whims and fancy. In the law, there are parameters. But more than that, it is the Prime Minister acting in the council of the National Security Council. So it's not just of the members of the cabinet, but it is also on the advice of the security forces.
Prime Minister Holness brought his government's crime-fighting strategy to the church community. urging them to play their part in crime reduction.
The government will be engaging faith-based initiatives in the fight against crime. That we want to partner with the churches in meaningful ways to help with parenting, to help with early childhood education, to help with youth engagement, to help with family planning, and help with dealing with the poor and dispossessed. Government can't do it alone.
Mr. Holness was speaking at Thursday's benefit concert put on by the Stella Maris Foundation. He used the occasion to thank Stella Maris for its role in securing peace in the Grand Spen area.
I'm giving a charge to this collective body to come up with ways, make recommendations about a policy that we need to have now as a government to be implemented on how to manage the disposal of plastic bottles.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the call at Tuesday's National Disaster Risk Management Council meeting. He asked council members to develop the policy which will comprehensively deal with the threat plastic bottles pose to the island's infrastructure and environment. Prime Minister Holness meanwhile committed his government to ensuring that disaster risk management remains a priority.
Well-needed equipment such as fire trucks, waste collection trucks, ambulances, off and inshore vessels, and seismographs have been obtained, with additional items to be procured. Our needs are great, but we remain committed to boosting our capacity to respond.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness says Jamaica is focused on implementing the 17 Sustainable Development Goals and see to their alignment to Vision 2030 Jamaica. He says particular attention will be placed on the goals dealing with decent work and economic growth, as well as peace, justice, and developing strong institutions.
By 2030, there should be a Caribbean in which all have access to world-class education and training. In 2030, the entire Caribbean should have healthcare and equal opportunities in safe and just societies that are underpinned by trust, love, respect, and tolerance. I also envision a Caribbean with healthy natural environments, lush vegetation and forests, clean air and water, technology-driven innovation, economic growth in various sectors, and the end of poverty, or stated otherwise, prosperity for all.
Mr. Holness was addressing Wednesday's regional conference on sustainable development goals in the Caribbean. By Thursday, Prime Minister Holness was in Negril welcoming the latest hotel development on the island. The 285-room Azul Sensatori Jamaica Beach Resort offers 7 pools, 9 restaurants and bars, and 1 spa.
Portia Simpson Miller has embodied for many Jamaicans the grit, determination, and resilience that is awe-inspiring in the face of obstacles.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness praising the island's first female Prime Minister as she gets ready to retire from representational politics. Mr. Holness was among a throng of parliamentarians from both the lower and upper house who paid tribute to Mrs. Simpson Miller, who served in representational politics for more than 40 years. In Parliament Tuesday, the Prime Minister said Mrs. Simpson Miller was a leading voice in the promotion of climate change, gender, as well as for the welfare of the poor and vulnerable. Prime Minister Holness also hosted a cocktail reception in Mrs. Simpson Miller's honor at Vale Royal Tuesday night. Prime Minister Holness also welcomed visitors to Jamaica House. On Tuesday, he met with a delegation from the Carreras Group. Thursday also saw Mr. Holness meeting with the Spanish ambassador to Jamaica. Prime Minister Andrew Holness paid his last respects to 2 of the island's stalwarts. On Wednesday, Mr. Holness attended the funeral of former JFF President Captain Horace Burrell. And on Friday, the Prime Minister paid his last respects to Lady Ivy Cook. And that's how we close out Jamaica House Weekly. We return next time with more of the stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Government has to be strategic in its anti-gang efforts, and there's nothing more persuasive than a group of men who've experienced firsthand the ills of a life of crime.
I'm on the rise, I'm on the rise.
I was like a rebellion against the system, but that never was the way, Virgin.
I was convicted and sent to prison. Spent 14 years on death row. Only see 5 minutes of sunlight each day for 14 years. I was taken to the gallows and was supposed to be hung. Twice they built coffin for me and twice they dig hole. But God knows best.
Men who have made wrong choices in their past.
These are men who were either incarcerated or persons who were informal enforcers, as we say in Jamaica. These were persons who had no regard for law and order, who have actually, by whatever means possible, by whatever stimuli, have actually decided that they don't want that life anymore. They want to actually be positive role models in society.
Now they are sharing their experiences with the determination of reaching out to the youths and even their peers to not make the same mistakes they did. And by so doing, they are helping to restore and preserve the society's value system, thus securing the rock with their message.
Changetown youths, top up love, delete violence. Things take time to do if you take time to do it. Changetown youths, focus, take life serious.
We are trying to help them to realize that crime and violence is not something that is good. It's something that will destroy the society and the entire family. And once the family is destroyed, then the society will be destroyed.
Men with a Message is an initiative out of the Citizen Security and Justice Program, Csjp. The group, which consists of 10 men, was identified by Csjp's community action officers from among the program's many participants. Having received vocational and skills training, placed in jobs and managed to maintain clean police records for at least 2 years, the young men successfully navigated the interview process and were made ready for their mission. Armed with a different attitude, these men are now fighting against the same plague that once struck them: crime, violence, and lack of education.
To live a better life and to act in a better manner, education is the surest guarantee for a better life. You can't constantly do something when not giving you a good result. That's madness. That was how I define badness. So who I run down badness and madness. Because I was in it, so now listen keenly. So any man out there come for you, so me I go to the eye there, all them can get to know.
It is reported that young men between the ages of 15 and 25 are most vulnerable to criminal activities. So, as part of the Csjp's initiatives within volatile communities, Men with a Message have been going into youth clubs and schools through the Safe Schools program to deliver their message of transformation.
I definitely want these youngsters to understand that crime on our whole is not something that they should want to indulge in. We know we cannot totally eliminate crime and violence from the society, but at least we can help to minimize it to a tolerable level.
Principals have actually reported that after Men with a Message have come and spoken to the students, delinquent students have actually been the ones now to curb the other students. There have actually been cases where students have been collecting knives from other students as a result of Men with a Message coming and speaking to them.
It doesn't have to be that we have gunmen around and so on, but it has to be that they understand that when they become men themselves, they have to become men of standard, men of worth, men of value. And that is what our society needs. And so many of these boys lack seeing men who are role models in this way.
I would like to see from this program youth getting the benefit that I know is there, because I am also a recipient of the program.
The common good of the society of Jamaica, which should always be the new name of justice, cannot be achieved by means of violence, because violence destroys what we intend to create.
These may seem like just words, but not to these men. With the Csjp operating in 50 communities, the men are spreading their message that change is possible and that the cycle of violence and underachievement from the inner city can be broken. And they are also living testimonies that the Csjp's programs actually work.
Jamaica, join with us to secure the rock. Top up love, delete violence. Jamaica youths, blessed love.
I'm on the rise, I'm on the rise. Higher than I, higher than I.
We want a productive Jamaica. We are a productive Jamaicans. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity is the way to go for all us Jamaicans. Small business, big business, old and young, we are tell every woman and man. We want growth and prosperity for a better nation with a building plan. So we can build our product and sell our product and put more money in our hand. Our economy can rise to a level and build a better nation. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity.
Productivity, Pathway to Prosperity. A message brought to you by the Jamaica Productivity Center, a department of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security.
As we kickstart activities to celebrate our 55th year of political independence, take a look at one of the newest features of this year's celebrations.
It's the 55th year of our independence, and government, through a variety of initiatives, will be highlighting Jamaicans at home and in the diaspora for their talent, their tenacity, and for being excellent ambassadors for brand Jamaica. A special Jamaica 55 category has been created in this year's Prime Minister's Youth Awards for Excellence. This special category is open to Jamaicans 15 to 29 years old who have given yeoman service to their communities.
What we're seeking to do is to find at least 55 young people across 55 communities who have truly excelled in community work. You know, I think we all know a number of young people who work tirelessly. They stage homework programs, they have their youth clubs running, and we have to find them and again celebrate them and hold them up for other young people to see.
Applicants for this special Jamaica 55 award are expected to each submit a community project that benefits the area in which they operate, and to extend the impact of the project that's submitted.
This award comes with a grant component. So once they're awarded, they will get a grant that will help them to make this community project into a reality.
Nominations are open until August 31, and forms are available at moey.gov.jm, youthjamaica.com, or any youth information center across the island. And if you're not all the way convinced that you too can make a difference, hear from past recipient and current Jamaica House Fellow Jerome Cowens.
The truth is, it was when I got this award, I was empowered on a national level. You know, the Prime Minister Youth Award, the highest youth award in the country, I felt empowered. Needless to say, I continued and now have been getting recognition. I've been recognized by President Barack Obama. I've been recognized by the Queen of England at Buckingham Palace. I've been recognized by the Nelson Mandela family. But one of the things I always tell persons, especially when I travel, it started at home. When you look at some of these projects that persons are being awarded for, the return on investment is absolutely incredible. You're talking about volunteer hours, you're talking about young people learning skills, putting inputs into education.
So if you or someone you know fits the criteria for this commemorative Jamaica 55 award, apply today.
country. I believe that we can join our hands and make a difference in Jamaica. I believe that we can make a change and spread a belief of hope across our country. I believe that we can join our hands and make a difference in Jamaica. I believe, I
And that's how we close out Jamaica Magazine, but only for today. We return tomorrow with another exciting program just for you. We're always available online. Visit our website, jis.gov.jm. Subscribe to our YouTube page. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You may also download our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.